Hello and welcome to the next episode in this disaster series. Now there's a lot to move within this one. Now this is all about the disaster of my life and of course this Lego City / theme park display. So all of this has been on top of tables and all piled on top of each other for the last couple of uploads, but we are slowly starting to make progress. So last upload we moved all the Ninjago bits and pieces. That is where the new Ninjago set's going to go, or should I say the current Ninjago set's going to go, and I think that all looks nice and smart. So if you missed the last upload, that's what that's all about. If you wanted to know why and how all this started, I'll link the first part to this, because where I'm stood now, basically there was a massive hole and it all had to be smashed up. But what we are going to do today is we are going to extend all of our superhero section. I've got Plan of Attack for the carousels. I think that'll work really well as a Punisher display from the Netflix series, and then we've got to try and get the Ghostbuster firehouse over, which I think might work quite well in that back corner, all going well, and then the Ecto 1 can just be left with the haunted section. But the other amazing thing is in the top right hand corner, which has been bugging me for a little while, there now might be a set that's there, but I've actually got to go down, get it, repair it because it broke, standard, do an unboxing video on it, and then bring it back up here so we can carry on with that video. So what we're going to do now is we're going to jump to the unboxing section and I'll show you exactly what that set is. Right, the video is complete. I thought I'd show you what these lights look like with there's no other lights on. I think it's quite nice and effective. So you can see what that is just lurking down at the bottom. That is what that set looks like. But if I turn the actual main lights on as well, there we go. So that is what we are going to be adding in to the display. So yes, that is my little setup. So we've got the two little lights up at the top, and then it works very, very well. So I need to take up this little head, and I'm hoping this little thing will fit in the top right hand corner. And then with the scaffolding, what we'll end up doing is we'll have a load of these people with a load of construction workers, and then we'll hopefully be able to hide that brick. Then hopefully we can make some sort of a display. So I'll take this up now and then we'll see what's what. Right, we made it with no damage, but look how small that is next to the Ninjago bits and pieces. It is tiny. That I want in that gap just over there. So I'm going to bring this over like a pizza, and we are going to see what falls off, because that top is loose. That should actually be shut. So I use you to close that. There we go. So I've got to get through this little gap. That'll be a good trial and error. I've got my coat on only because it's cold and horrible outside. And I've got the minifigures in my pocket, but I'm actually stuck because it's too thick and I can't. Hang on. I don't want to break anything. But I don't want the roller coaster to move. So this is something I really do need to think of, because I suppose I wouldn't have both hands being used when I'm walking around. And I'm doing this for you lot, and I've got nowhere to stand, so I've balanced it with my head. There we go. Right, we're through. That was simple. You don't want to know what that was. We will pretend that didn't happen. That is just something for a different day. Now, will that fit? I really hope it will. Now, for me to reach it, again, I'm going to have to go for a mountain climb up on that table. Can I actually go full length? Can I reach? Can I reach? Come on, please. Ow, that hurt. Ow. Right, we're in. Oh my days, yes it does. Right, so we can actually do some construction work with that. So we've got that head, see, it's got the same sort of hot dogs in green. I think that head is actually might be exactly the same size, to be honest. So that does fit fine. So that works up there. We could potentially raise that up a little bit, or just have more scaffolding around it. And then what I can now do is use that as sort of our, just it's just a street. So we'll have all the minifigures walking across, and then we can have that as our show zone. We could build up a little bit of scaffolding, get some construction workers around there. So don't forget, it's all to do with a theme park. Now the plan is that the new Avengers Tower is going to go just here, and it'll go in front of the diner. So because that is a very, very tall thing. Doing a live with Jay's Toy Collection UK last night, and he went over all the sort of information and the leaked images and things, close to 1 meter tall. Now I have got plenty of tape measures up here, but can I see one handy? Of course I can't. So I wanted to measure just to see how tall that is, because it is taller than the Daily Bugle, I think. So I don't, if it goes directly there and it goes above, it might cover that bit. So I don't think the head would get lost there, but it'll work. I think it will do the trick. So the plan is that then obviously now needs to move. That needs to go somewhere. We'll keep that there for now, and I'll let you guys and girls let me know what you think. The problem is I can't fit a modular there. That is the issue, because that ceiling height, it's like 2 bricks deep. So you want to look at your brickwork in your house, and then you look at it and go, oh yeah, it's only 2 bricks. These modulars are 3 or 4 bricks high. That's what you've got to take into consideration. So it's not the easiest of things to do, but what I need to do, I need to empty my pockets, I need to put some of the minifigures up there. I want to then work on the angle of this, because I think that needs to be angled maybe ever so slightly differently, where the front doors are coming across this way and the flames going over that way rather than looking side on. But then, to be fair, it might work to be all right like that, because we can put some seating and things across the front. So that will have to move if the Doctor Strange set is going to go anywhere near this, or it just stays as is. And then we have that as a corner, and we could almost, maybe in that gap, that would possibly fit a road plate between the diner and the garage. So it makes sense having the road to nowhere. And then if I made a portal, I could actually just have a portal by the brickwork, and then that's how you link going from there down to the bottom. And there'll be a portal from there to the Doctor Strange set somewhere. So maybe that will work, because let's try that. I am roasting in this jacket, by the way, because it's not that cold up here, it's just cold outside. So I'm hoping that this thing here, it will fit. Yes, it will. So we can, quite simply, he says, just plonk some sort of custom road plate in that gap with a little bit of persuasion, and then we can just make a ring that connects to that, and then that's how those two link. So I just need a bit of orange basically up there, and then up at the top here, that'll be where our bat wing goes, which is this little thing just here. So I think that would look quite smart just at the top over everything, because you've got the Gotham PD up in there, and then you have got the light on the top. So we are slowly starting to make progress. I'm going to take this off, I'm going to take all the bits and pieces out of my pocket, and then we've got the big fruity thing to move, which will be that firehouse, which is going to cause more issues. This thing then is going to cause some issues, but to be able to do all of that, I'm going to need to move the funfair stuff, because that funfair stuff needs to go somewhere else, because it's not going to work where it is. Right, I've done a thing. Now, it does actually fit perfect, so I think that is where that's going to go. This will then connect down to this road just in here, so you can see how that will work with that piece. Obviously I'm going to need to change all of the yellow and the whites up. The road is the footpath. That's how they work in the theme parks, that's how they got it at Universal. So say for example we have this piece, this is all made up, that bit will go just like so. Get this truck out of the way so you can actually see what I'm attempting to do. That bit goes underneath. You got the peacemaker out the way, drag that out, that's how that goes, and well, by fluke, there you go. So that's how that would go. So that would then connect through. You've got that road going across the back, and then you can see what we'll do is behind the Daily Bugle, that's where we're going to make the alleyway connecting to the palace. Then the cinema will then be our Batman scene, where we can have like the cars and different bits and pieces like that. And talking of cars, obviously the cars will fit on those roads as well. So that actually looks smart. I do like that. Obviously this is going to be uploaded well before the Daily Bugle does, well before the Avengers Tower comes out. Now visually I think the tower would look very, very smart there and up there somewhere. Now obviously we have got the opportunity to move the Joker, but I think that does look smart where it is. Luke Coaster is going to go in front of it eventually. So obviously with the roads and stuff, we'll just have a load of minifigures. But it does mean that basically there'll be a 32 by 32 base plate just here. So that'll be the next thing that I need to place. If I put a 32 by 32 base plate, no, that'll do. Put this thing across just to make sure that we've got enough room. You can see how I design things. I just throw it in and then hope for the best. Get that bit out of the way. So that is where the Avengers Tower would be. So you can see it's staggered in front of the Daily Bugle. So it's steps. So it's actually in line with the Joker Manor. Do we think that would work? Or does it need to go back by half? So don't forget, it could just be a little alleyway behind it. So we could have it starting here. So basically the path could be there and it's stepped and staggered, and we've got a wider bit at the front of it. It has to go in front of the shelf, and obviously it'd be nice to see everything. I think it could work because it'd be a good mix of Marvel, DC all mixed together with the Joker bit there. But that is basically the only place it can go, or it literally goes here, which completely defeats the object of having that road in the diner there. And then it would be in line with the Daily Bugle, but I don't think it needs to be in line. So I think if we say it's there for now, and you've got the narrow walkway through behind, or we can keep it open and bring it in front, because it does depend on how many studs and what we can do with the front of that. So let us know if you think visually that would look nice just there. Obviously it's away from the shelf. That little thing at the top isn't then going to be hidden. And then we have got the Apocalypseburg to the right hand side, which is obviously going to be our coffee section. And like I said, all of it's going to link. So all of it's going to link with roads on this superhero display, because that is what makes sense, because that's how they got it at Universal for this kind of thing. Then when we get to the next section of the different parks, it'll be different paths, different footpaths and all that kind of nonsense. But we do have the opportunity with a nice display outside the Daily Bugle. So already I'm thinking what we need to do is that needs to go back there, or it touches, because it could realistically go back to there. And then what that allows us to have is a massive display. As you can see, it'd be basically almost a 32 by 32 base plate in front of it, like we've got here, for a big battle. So depending on how you can see it, it might hide the diner ever so slightly, but then at least there's a road directly behind it, and that is just going to be our maintenance workshop anyway. And then we can connect the road and wrap it round. That could just be a toilet block, but it does mean, even though the building's there, don't forget you've actually got the path in front of the diner where people can still get through to the road. They can still get to either the maintenance shed or whatever we're going to use this as the toilet block, and then they can walk through the gas pumps and then out where this truck is to get their coffee and things like that. So it will all link and move. It just depends if we want a 32 by 32 or a 16 by 32 display. So what I mean by that, it very much depends on if we want this as a display in front. So in case you're wondering what I'm going on about stud wise, so that is a display. That is where it is. That's where the new set is. And then that is just the connecting path behind. So the stuff behind it you're not going to see. So I think guess what we have to do, we're going to buy it, figure it out, but at least that's in situ. And then you can see just to the right hand side of it as we're looking, you've got all of this space then for other bits and pieces. So we could wrap a display all the way around it if that we wanted to. So with that is all there ready, I think, for the new Avengers Tower, if as and when that happens. So now we can move on to this bit. So we are getting some good bits and pieces done. So all I want to do is I just want to get the firehouse moved over. I want to get the carousel placed roughly, and then I just want to basically give it a little bit of a tidy so we can see where we're at with regards to pieces. And then I've got to start thinking where we're going to be moving on to next, because there's still quite a lot to go. I do like the fact of adding the space roller coaster into the horror section. I think that works quite well, especially if we've got the big coaster behind me, the loop coaster there, we've got the Joker. It kind of makes sense now that we've got this thing here, and then we've got the little funfair section, which could come close to the carousel. We could have that up at the front. So that could all basically be quite close together. So this could be where all of our sort of rides are. It does make sense having the space coaster over with the horror stuff, and that way we can add in all the alien theme and things like that. So I do appreciate the messages that people have been sending me with regards to that. So I think that works well. I'm going to need your help with regards to what we can do across the very, very rooftops of all the displays as well, which you can add in basically all the minifigures that comes with Marvel DC stuff at the top. Then I just need to fill it of generic minifigures, obviously for just bits and pieces that you'd see in a theme park area. So there's lots and lots still to do, but I'll get on with it. Right, I think you are set up for what is going to be the main event of this video. So I'm going to have time to move this, and basically that is that. So I've taken the jacket off, obviously, because that's causing an absolute nightmare. I've still got to breathe in because it is tight. So this I'm going to have to really get used to, or just start wearing less baggier stuff. Now, I can cheat. This is going to need a new home. I can see that straight away. So that's going to have to go somewhere. So that's going to be a issue for a different problem. So what we'll do, we'll figure out all the spacey bits and pieces in a completely separate video. Now this is coming over in one through that gap onto that table. You know it's not going to end well, but it is what it is. So can I get this over? I'm doing all this and I can already hear people go, no, it won't work. What are you doing? Don't put it there. But I think it might. But the only thing is, I've got a very bad feeling, like with all the other stuff, certain things aren't attached. Right, so I'm directly over the top of the coaster. That is me going through the table. Breathing in, full stretch. Contact. We're on. Fantastic. Right, you're looking at nothing, which is brilliant, but that's it. So what we've got over here, the reason why I want to do this is because it's got all the lights and everything, and it is also, I do believe, in New York, which I'm pretty sure all of that's supposed to be set there. I'm sure that's where this is supposed to be. I could be getting that completely mixed up. I thought the first film's in New York. So how far back can we go with this? I absolutely love this set. So if you haven't seen this thing before, there is a full unboxing video available. But what I can do actually, rather than messing around with anything else, is I can just quickly show this off, because I think this deserves to be shown off. And then what I'll do is I'll tidy it all up at a different time, because I am slowly running out of time myself for today. So that's the roof of that. That is, well, full of different minifigures. That's how that all connects in. And then this all opens up on the pivot. So this opens up like so. Beautiful looking thing. And then you've got all the different bits and pieces on the inside. So it's one of those sets that really could be left open potentially. You could have it left open up on there, and there's just some bits and pieces that you could have. You've got the pool table, you have got the other minifigures that are added in it, you've got all the computers and everything. It's a very, very special thing. You can see you've got all of the Ghostbuster bits. It's one of my favourite sets, I think, with regards to actually putting together. The amount of detail that's in this is ridiculous. So it is really nice to open it up from time to time. But obviously with a lot of the stuff, you do have to display it closed, but you have got all the staircases and things. So if you can come up with an idea of maybe having it open or having the side door open, so it is just like that, for example, we could do, but I don't think that's going to work. And I think I've just cracked the sign on the other side, which is not ideal. Yes, I have. So this will fit. It will fit right to the back of the table, so we are not losing any space whatsoever. That light is supposed to hook up onto there. That's what's just come off. So this does take up a huge amount of space. Now what I wanted to do is, what I've started to do is actually use it as a zombie section. So I want to do a Marvel DC zombie kind of thing. I'm going to keep in all of these main minifigures that come with the set, but the actual Ecto 1 I'm going to end up putting over in our haunted section, just sort of split the two up. So I think this would work quite well with regards to the zombie bit. Now I think that roof wasn't actually fully connected, so I did just do a schoolboy error with that. We'll go like that. So without the minifigures on, that roof will connect. So that is basically going to be at the back. I think that'll look nice. So you can see the building on the side, so we can have a load of characters coming up at the top. This is obviously a ride, I've said this millions of times now, in Dubai, where it is basically a laser shooter. So you've been to Universal and you've been onto the Men in Black ride that's over there. That's what they've got at Ghostbusters over in Dubai. So it's the same kind of thing. Now I'm running out of battery and memory card on this, and obviously we've got loads to do, and we've already been going near enough 20 minutes. So I'm going to stop. I know, and then I've got to then shoot off, and then I think probably I'm going to have to carry on tomorrow in a different upload, which is going to be a little bit annoying for you, but it'll follow soon enough. So again, let us know what you think with regards to how this is all starting to look. I think it's starting to look okay. That with all the minifigures on, maybe raised up ever so slightly, and maybe what we could try and do is put more scaffolding underneath it, so it's basically touching the roof, and have the construction team underneath, just so it's obviously more being rebuilt. I think the rest of that row looks fine. I do like the fact that we have got that in situ ready for the new bit, and I do like that road plate. I was really unsure of that corner garage to start with, but with that road there, and obviously I can make a custom path / road bit to go in that bit, I think that would be fine. But that is something I need you guys to let me know. It's not really urgent, but would we like to do a 32 by 32 like the Daily Bugle, or a 16 by 32 and just make it narrower? Because there's a lot going on the front of that box artwork. So if they've got all the bits and pieces up in their space and coming from the ceiling, Obviously we have got the opportunity with these screws to do stuff with, so we could just make that as a full diorama. Obviously the Joker Manor, that is a ride, in case you're wondering what that is. So there's a roller coaster track that goes around it, and on the back it is actually a bit that you can walk through, so you can walk through the front, and on the back of it, it is all opened up. So that is our ride of the actual theme park, and then all the other little bits and pieces we're going to put in as the shows. Coffee is over there, maintenance sheds in the corner. Obviously that is a ride, clearly. That is going to be another ride, and it'd just be nice there for show. Does mean that we could put maybe a park in front. Maybe that can link, maybe these two could link together, so that could be here and we could do something with that. Or I could maybe put the fun fair stuff over where it's a little bit smaller, so we can really see the front of that. And then we have basically got a zombie apocalypse down to nowhere, but it is a nice building. Obviously it's massive as well, because it is on a base plate and a half. And then I think when all of this gets cleared, which might be the next thing I'll do, I'll clear this table off, get that bit moved, get the funhouse stuff moved, and then everything is ready for the two big ones, which will be the Loop roller coaster, the Avengers Tower. And then it gives us expansion coming around the corner for the Doctor Strange set and the hotel. So we're there with regards to actually clearing out this space. So we are in good stead for this display. This, not so much. Yes, works. Yes, works. No idea. Different day problem. Orange thing's now a new problem. Everything across the back is a big problem. This is a big problem. Yeah, so it's going to be good fun. So guys, again, feedback below, let us know what you think, let us know how you think this is going to turn out to be, and if there's any other things that I've missed. There's obviously the little truck, so you've got the space truck over there. There's the gaming truck over on that bit, but I think that can go in a completely different section as well, just to sort of spice things up. But I am waffling, and I really am running out of time. I'm eyeballing that, so it's got about a 45-second countdown. So if you can like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Feedback below with regards to what you think should work. Are you happy with the Avengers Tower there? Because obviously if anything needs to move, it needs to move now, because the second anything goes on this table, that'd be it, that'd be game over. So the last thing to get added will be the Loop coaster once everything else is done. So the Loop coaster more than likely now will either be closer to Christmas or the start of next year, and ideally the next big purchase will be that tower that will go on that bit, and then everything hopefully then will come together. But guys, as always, thank you very much for watching. You lot take care, and I'll see you next one. Ta-da.